Northwestern quarterback Kane Coulter has shaken up the NCAA with his recent win in court for the right to unionize as student athletes. But what exactly does this mean? This means that they now have the power to fight for what they think they deserve. Many believe that this will cause other student athletes at different schools to do the same thing, creating strong power to go against the NCAA and specific colleges. This is a small step in the process of a much larger argument. This argument is, of course, do student athletes deserve to be paid? There is a percentage of student athletes that bring in millions to a college and receive nothing but a scholarship. These scholarships can end up adding to about $200,000, and many would argue that this money, along with the various perks of being a star, are enough. In order to debate this argument, we have to look at what services these student athletes provide, how the court ruling in Northwestern was decided, and what paying these athletes would mean for schools in general. Since we are looking at mainly the big stars of the NCAA, we will really key in on the D1 student athlete service they are obligated to do in order to keep their scholarship money. They are forced into off-season workout programs about 50 hours a week. During the regular season, they are subject to 50 hours a week of sports-related activity, including workouts, practice, film sessions, travel, and other strict team itinerary. These players are watched over by coaches and school staff to eat at certain times and foods, follow strict curfews, and are unable to travel often over school breaks because of team duties. This is asking a lot out of these students who still have to meet educational requirements just to stay on the team and keep the scholarship. Because of this, many student athletes just take basic classes and learn very little, but it's necessary to stay in school due to time restraints. Now, many would argue that just having to deal with the issues listed previously for 4 years is enough to earn scholarship money. So it would seem fair to give the players who go above and beyond what they need to do, on and off the field, a portion of the money they earn for the school. The all-stars of certain colleges bring in millions to the university, yet make only $50,000 a year if you count their educational cost. The education which many of them don't have the time for and really will never get to use. These players are providing a major service for their college and are banned from making money off it. This goes against everything in a normal profit-earning organization in America. If you provide value to your company or organization, you have the right to negotiate payment for your services. Right now they are being taken advantage of. This is exactly what Judge Peter Song-Orr argued in his ruling with the Northwestern players to unionize. In this trial, there was one point that seemed to influence Judge Orr's decision the most. It was the fact that it seemed the university controlled these players' lives. Other than the given guidelines from earlier in the slidecast, players from Northwestern and many other schools are forced to dorm freshman and sophomore year, restricted from social media, and forced to sign a release to the NCAA for the rights to use their name for profit. It was with these instances, along with many other smaller controlling factors, that made the judge decide that these student athletes were more athletes than students. By this, I mean that the school put more emphasis on football than education. What makes this trial significant is it sets a standard for future trials to come in terms of the right to unionize. Now, the last point I feel should be brought up is what makes the issue particularly tricky. The university makes money off these players and puts it back into the school. So although these players are undoubtedly being taken advantage of, it is benefiting our education system. But the fact of the matter is, it is obvious these players are being taken advantage of, at least a good portion of them. So now that the precedent is set to allow players to unionize, these players now have the ability to fight for what they deserve. Many other players from different schools will soon follow their example and start attempting to unionize, which will start to put the power in the hands of the players. They could use this power and refuse to play unless they get paid, causing problems for the school because they fund a good portion of it. This is why if players were to fight for what they deserve, they would have to be careful where they draw the line. They would not get paid outrageously like in the pros, as they will no doubt blow up the whole education system as it is. But they certainly deserve more than they are getting now, and they certainly deserve the right to fight for it.